Are there times when you wish that you could be invisible? Are there times when you wish you could be seen more? It's all to do with energy and also behavior. And what I want to talk about in this video is how you can make yourself more invisible and how you can make yourself more visible with your energy. But before we dive into that, hi, I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. If you're new to the channel and you want to learn more about Wicca and witchcraft, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. And if you want to learn how to start your Wiccan practice on your own, then do download my free video called How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. The link to that is in the description field below this video. So there are times when you're going to want to not be seen, and this might be because you're not confident being in a crowd, or you just are the sort of person who's more introverted and you prefer to sit and listen rather than to be actively engaged in some sort of group activity. There are always reasons to want to be invisible. It's not a good energy to maintain in the long term because you do have to really contract your energy to become invisible. But sometimes it could even be a life or death situation where you don't want to be seen. There's also other times when you're going to want to be seen, you're going to want to be visible because you're going to want to stand out and you're going to want people to notice you. And it's all about energy. Now, you can't make yourself physically invisible, totally as in physically invisible. I've had people who have emailed me asking me to do magic for them to make them invisible, as well as some other pretty outrageous things. And magic isn't like it is on television. You can't just click your fingers and become invisible. You've got to put a little bit of work in there as well. You can do spells that can help you be more visible, and you can do spells that can help you be more invisible, but it's really about energy and how you work with your energy signature and how you work with your own energy, which is ruled by your thoughts and the way that you feel. Now, when it comes to invisibility, you're looking at a more introspective energy. By far, quiet introverts generally get overlooked, especially if they are in mixed company with very extroverted, loud people. The introvert is always going to get overlooked. So think about that energy of introversion. What is it? It's a very contained energy. I'm a very strong introvert, so I can totally relate to this energy. There's a lot more going on inside an introvert's head than what's coming out their mouth. There can be a lot going on inside our heads. We live in a world inside our own thoughts, our own imagination, and we rarely speak out about what that might be. Sometimes we forget too that we haven't spoken out things that we've thought, and we thought we have spoken out about things that we've thought. That's how comfortable we are with our own thoughts. And it's a very contained energy. We're very close with our energy. We're not putting our energy out there. And as a result, we often get overlooked. So that's something that I've had to work on, is actually the opposite of that. But having said that, I have found being an introvert to be incredibly helpful at times. Having an energy where I can be invisible really easily is very helpful at times. Just the other day, I think I heard somebody talk about how they wanted to do some sort of spell or some sort of work so that they wouldn't get picked out to in a classroom situation to answer a question or something that they weren't prepared for. So there's times when you can use that invisible energy just to help you in your everyday life and to help you stay safe too, especially if you end up in situations where it's quite dangerous and you don't want people to really pick on you or see you, then it's time to work with a shield of invisibility. Now, you can do this energetically by imagining that you do have like a mirror shield around you, much like that reflector glass coating that you can put on glass so that you can look out and see out, but the people looking in can't see in. All they see is their own reflection. So you can build a shield the same way as you would have a shield of light, where you imagine that's around your body is the shield where you can see out, but when other people are sort of looking in, they don't see you. All they see is a reflection of themselves or what they want to see. And if you're really good with your visualization and your imagination, you can do this while you're sitting in a group situation or a classroom or walking down a street that might be dangerous, and you're shielded by this mirror shield where you can see out, but no one can see in. You can do it that way. You can work with archangel energy, so that you've got archangel shield around you so that you're protected from others seeing you, so they make you invisible. But the shielding is probably the most common way of doing it from a very, very focused, energetic way of thinking. Another way, of course, is to be quiet. So if you are quiet and you're not standing out, you are going to be more invisible energetically. And sometimes it can work, and you don't want to do this too much because it's not really good to do this, but to imagine that you're so tiny that you're almost microscopic and no one can see you. You're that tiny. So you can imagine that if you're in a crowd of people, that you're so small that you're looking up at all of these giants and they're all really, 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 really huge. It's another way you can do it. You don't want to do that for too long, because what that does is that it can make the other people feel that they are more dominant over you, and you don't want that to happen. But if you're just doing it in a really, really short length situation and you need to do that in order to stay safe, then thinking of yourself as being microscopic is something you can do. But I personally prefer more of a shielding approach, so that you're not diminishing yourself in any way comparatively to other people. It's an energy thing. Some people are naturally more invisible than other people. And if you know anybody who is the sort of person that gets overlooked a lot, just observe, what is it about that person energetically that causes them to be overlooked? Are they more reserved, more held back? Are they more quiet? How do they hold themselves? How do they speak? Because these things can help you in situations where you may need to use those things to be consciously invisible. Everything's polar, there's polarity, and there are times in your life when you're going to want to be invisible. There are times in your life where you're not going to want to stand out, and there's also times when you're going to want to be visible and you're going to want to stand out. Now, these are times, especially if you have your own business and you're marketing, or you're competing in some way with other people, then you're going to want to do the opposite and actually stand out and be seen. And this in many ways is a lot easier to do, but unless of course you're a really strong, shy introvert, then it could be really difficult to do. But if you're wanting to make yourself more extroverted energetically, then one of the simplest ways to do this is to imagine that you are huge, as in you are a giant. And this is especially useful if you're in a conflict situation with somebody and you want to energetically intimidate them. So you're wanting to make sure that they're not trying to have dominion over you, that you have this big energy that it scares them. Because energetically you've blown yourself up to this huge size. Now you can imagine that you hit the roof, so you're as big as the room that you're in. So you're much, much taller and bigger than that person. You could even imagine that you are the size of the planet. So you're as tall as the planet. It's really about height that we're looking at. And that can actually energetically intimidate the person, because what it does is it makes you bigger. It makes you taller and bigger, which makes you more threatening to that person. So yes, you will be very visible when you're doing this, but in the situations where you need to maybe defend yourself, that could be a really good way of doing it. If you're having an argument with somebody and they're getting a bit out of hand, definitely inflate yourself, grow bigger so that energetically you are bigger. If you're in a group of people and you're wanting to be noticed, then you can expand your energy. So as you breathe out, you expand your energy so that it becomes very bright. Now you will light up on the astral as well. So you may attract a lot of other entities perhaps as well, but generally that's not going to be such a problem. Light yourself up. You could imagine that you have this really bright, beautiful orange energy. And so people are going to be attracted to that bright energy. Hold your posture upright. So people are very drawn to people who are confident. If you look like you're a confident person, so you've got upright body energy, your shoulders are relaxed, your back is straight, your shoulders are back but relaxed, and you're exuding this energy. You could even exude heart energy, like this beautiful green energy or rose pink energy, depending on what it is that you're wanting to be known for, out, and people will be drawn to you. So that's a good way to work with your energy to make yourself more noticeable. And the colors that you project out are the colors that are going to influence how those people react to you. So if you're wanting people to perhaps love you more or have more warm feelings towards you, then you want to project loving energy, so like greens and pinks. If you're wanting people to see you as being more confident and successful, especially if you're going for a job interview, you might want to exude some really good confident success energy. Then imagine that it is a nice orange colored energy. You don't want to go for the reds so much, because the reds can make you seem too aggressive, and you don't want to come across as being aggressive, because that's just going to attract more aggression to you. What you're wanting is to attract positive things to you. So think of an orange energy to project if you're wanting to project that confidence and friendly, that friendly confidence and assertion. So it's on a very friendly level. So play with color when you're trying to project out and make yourself stand out and be more noticeable. It's really just about playing with these things. Obviously, if you're an extroverted person and you're very confident and you do talk a lot and you speak up a lot in groups, you are going to get noticed more. That's just a natural thing. If you are a quieter person, then observe the people that you know who are extroverts, who are out there and putting their energy out there and have what's called big energy, and just observe how they work energetically. What do you sense from them? How is their energy, and how can you match that energy yourself? How can you train yourself to be able to get that energy up and out when you feel that you need to use it? Now, as an introvert, it's going to tax you a bit doing this, so you're probably not going to want to be in a situation where every day you've got to build this big energy, because it's going to exhaust you. But it's good to be able to do it on tap when you need to be able to do it. And the same if you are a big person with a big personality and big energy, and there are days when you just wish that you could just be invisible, then observe your friends or family who are more invisible and just see how contained their energy is, and then practice what does that energy feel like to contain and restrict. So to be invisible, you want to restrict your energy. You want to make it very, very quiet. You may even want to put a shield around you. Be quiet, don't say much, and just sit and be still. If you're wanting to be noticed, then play with projecting energy that's of various different colors. Increase your size energetically, so become taller and more colorful. And you'll find that when you're working on a shield, or when you're working on these different ways of projecting your energy, that it's going to have an effect on you physically. So you'll find that if you are working on a shield of invisibility, your body is going to become more quiet. It will have an effect on your body. Be aware of what that feels like, because that can be a really quick way of getting into the energy, is simply by changing your body posture. When you're playing with projecting your energy out and becoming bigger, then how does your body change when you do that? And just focus on how the body changes. It will become much more upright and much more confident in a much more relaxed way. It'll be like the body will be ready to take action. It's that kind of feeling you'll have in your body. Whereas when you're being invisible, you're going to have much more of a feeling in your body of being like a rock. It's not going to move or go anywhere. It slows you down, it slows the vibration down, whereas the other extroverted energy is going to make you a little bit more, you're going to oscillate a lot more. So play with this difference in energy. It's helpful to be able to know how to go into both. Everybody tends to have a preference for one over the other, and it can be very challenging for you to do the one that's opposite to you, but it is definitely worth the effort in going for it, because it will help you maneuver your way through life, because unfortunately life is full of situations where to be safe you may need to be invisible, or to be safe you may need to be huge in your energy. It just depends on the situation. If you're going through a very dangerous neighborhood, it may be helpful to be invisible. Other times it may help you to be so intimidating, because you're just imagining yourself so huge that people are going to be too scared to come anywhere near you. So there's ways that you can play with this depending on what situation you're in. And as a magical worker, you need to be able to do both, because you need to be able to protect yourself and also help yourself in situations where it can be advantageous for you in your career or in your life in general to be able to be more extroverted and noticed, or to just take a step back and be more quiet and not take up so much space. So play with that, practice it, have fun, practice it as part of your daily practice, which I hope you all do have some kind of a daily practice. And if you don't, do have a look at the Ultimate Guide to Starting a Wiccan Practice That Works. It's a 5-day practice. There's 5 days of video training that you get to set you up and start with a very simple daily practice that you can change and upgrade and modify as you go along in your Wiccan training. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Sandra for mysterywitchschool.com. Blessed be.